The applause was polite, barely louder than a golf clap. A couple camera flashes, a few heads tilted my way, but no familiar faces in the crowd. Not one. I stood there on the stage, holding the damn plaque they just handed me. Regional director, my name engraved in gold like it meant something. 6 years of showing up early, staying late, night classes with one hand on a textbook and the other packing lunchboxes. And now I was here, alone. Congratulations to Rebecca Stanton, the announcer said, already moving on to the next name. I walked off stage like I was supposed to. Smile fixed, step steady. But inside, I was boiling. Not sad, furious. Travis had promised he'd be there. Not just him, but the kids too. He joked about bringing air horns. Said they'd embarrass me in front of my boss with a banner. I actually looked forward to that. Their row, second from the front, was completely empty. I got to the hallway and finally let the smile drop. My hand was shaking as I pulled out my phone. I had at least 10 minutes before the photo session. Maybe they were late. Maybe something happened with the kids. 2 unread messages. First one, we need to talk urgently. Second one hit like a punch to the chest. I'm at your cousin Neil's lake house. We've been seeing each other. I didn't want to ruin your day, but I couldn't lie anymore. I read it twice. The words blurred for a second, then sharpened like broken glass. Neil, my cousin. The one who flirted with every woman at every family event. Travis always said he couldn't stand him. That Neil was a creep. They were together? A janitor walked by with a mop and nodded at me. I nodded back, still staring at the screen. This wasn't a joke. There were no follow-up messages. No, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to hurt you. Just that. 6 years grinding like a maniac, thinking I had a team behind me. Turns out they were at a damn lake house, playing family with each other while I stood under a spotlight like a fool. Before we go on, quick note, share where you're watching from. City or country? We'd love to know. I took one long breath, tucked the plaque under my arm, and walked straight out the side exit without looking back. I stood just outside the Civic Center, past the balloons and folding tables, out by the parking lot where nobody cared to look. Families posed for pictures near the big banner, dads with their arms around their daughters, kids holding up signs. I held my plaque like it weighed nothing, like it wasn't proof of everything I'd done alone. I opened Instagram. Neil's account was still public, always had been. Probably figured no one cared enough to look. Top post, family fish fry weekend. Caption full of dumb emojis. And there they were. Travis front and center, grinning like a man who hadn't just torched his whole life. Abby held up a fish, smiling wide. Ben was in a kayak, soaking wet and laughing. Travis had his arm around Neil's shoulder like they were brothers. Not one of them looked like they missed me. I scrolled. Next was a picture of my mom, sitting in a lawn chair next to a cooler, red Solo cup in hand, laughing at something off camera. There were towels drying on the railing, sun hats, fishing rods, someone playing music in the background. All of it had the warmth of a family vacation, like I was already dead. Then the next image glitched as it loaded, buffered, blinked, then disappeared. I knew that move. Someone posted too fast and yanked it down. I hit refresh. Too late. But Instagram's trashy little preview still had the thumbnail. It was Karen, Neil's on-again, off-again side piece, curled into him behind the boathouse, her hand in his hair, his mouth on her neck. I didn't need the full photo. I'd seen enough. I locked my phone and got in the car without saying a word, just left. The drive home was a blur. I knew every turn of that route by muscle memory, but I couldn't have told you a single song that played. I parked in the driveway, sat there for a minute, and stared at the house like it belonged to someone else. It was quiet, the kind of quiet that made you want to scream just to hear something break. I went inside, dropped my keys in the bowl, kicked off my shoes like it was any other night. I didn't even take off the heels, just walked straight to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water, and drank it like it would do something. Then I opened my laptop. Folder was still there, buried under layers, hidden inside a boring old folder labeled Taxes 2019. Nobody ever checked that one. I clicked in. There it was. Every dollar I'd tracked since year 2 of our marriage. Budget logs, side hustle income, investment statements, ownership splits, house equity projections, screenshots of text convos about the kids' school fees, notes from every argument Travis and I had about money. Every time he called my work a hobby or said I should be grateful he paid the real bills. I scrolled past the spreadsheets and opened the PDF's limited liability company filings under my maiden name. Business license approvals, independent contractor tax filings, proof that I'd been building something real, something he never even asked about. My hand hovered over one file. LLC Operating Agreement v3.pdf. I double-clicked. There it was. My business, my terms, my ownership, all legally protected. Travis didn't know the half of it. He thought I was just freelancing for diaper money back when the kids were little. He never asked where the real income went. There was no rage, no tears, just cold clarity, like flipping a switch. I pulled out a notebook and started listing out names. My lawyer, Melissa from Wildlife and Fisheries, Jenna from Accounting who owed me a favor. I wrote until the page filled up. This wasn't just about Travis or Neil or even my mom. This was about the fact that they made a choice. Every single one of them. And now, so would I. I shut the laptop, stood up, and grabbed the folder. I set the folder down on the desk and got to work. For 3 days, I didn't answer a single call or text from Travis or Neil. My phone lit up over and over. Voicemails piling up, messages pinging in real time. I ignored every one of them. They could panic in silence. I had prep to do. First thing, I pulled up the second LLC, the one I opened 2 years ago and never mentioned. I'd named it something boring and clean, ran all my real consulting work through it, kept the business checking account under my maiden name, registered in another state. Travis never asked, just assumed I was raking in gas money from my side gig. Idiot. I cross-checked the transaction logs, then opened my prenup. Still in the fireproof lockbox, still signed, still valid. My grandfather made me get it back when I thought love was enough. I'd cried in the lawyer's office that day, swore I'd never need it. Now, it was the sword they handed me years ago. Travis had skimmed it, signed it, and never brought it up again. He should have read the part about premarital income and separately held business assets. He really should have read that part. By the second day, I'd locked down my business accounts, rerouted the domain passwords, changed client access. I made backup copies of everything, sent encrypted files to a cloud drive only I could open. Then I called Melissa. She picked up halfway through the first ring. "Girl," she said, "I saw your ceremony photos. You looked amazing." "Thanks," I said. "I need a favor." The line went quiet for a second. Then, "Say less." I forwarded her 3 photos I'd screenshotted from Neil's Instagram before he could scrub it. Him holding up over-limit trout, bragging about size, location tagged on every post. There were even old comments from his buddies hyping it up. Idiots, all of them. Melissa worked at the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. She didn't just know the law, she helped enforce it. "I'll log the complaint officially tomorrow," she said. "Anonymous, but it'll stick. Make it clean." It will be. After that, I turned to the receipts. Travis had gotten sloppy. Text threads between him and Neil were backed up to our shared iCloud. He never shut it off. I went through months of messages. Some were casual, beer runs, inside jokes, don't tell her crap, but then I found one that snapped the last wire inside me. She's too busy chasing promotions to notice anything. "I'll drain our savings next week when she's distracted." Next week. The week of the ceremony. That's why he told me to go early, take the kids' photos with me, treat myself. I screenshot every message, compiled hotel bills, random Venmo transactions from their fishing trips, and even a video Travis sent Neil of himself half drunk in my living room, mocking the way I act like a CEO when she's still just a mom in heels. I dumped everything into a folder marked proceeding and made a backup copy on a flash drive. Then I called my lawyer. "Rena, it's time. You ready for this?" Way past ready. We set a meeting for Monday. I didn't mention what it was about. I didn't have to. By the end of day 3, I had everything organized. Files, backups, timelines, documents, witnesses. Travis and Neil could play house at the lake. I was building a war room. Friday morning, I opened a fresh email tab and took a deep breath. No salutation, no signature. Just a subject line. Report on code violations and ethical misconduct. I attached every piece of evidence, photos of Neil dumping used solvent into a ditch behind one of their work sites, tagged with GPS coordinates. Screenshots of expense reports where he charged equipment transport the same weekends he and Travis were shacked up at resorts 2 states over. A short video clip from a friend's Instagram story, barely 10 seconds long, but enough. Neil on a boat, drunk, throwing out slurs like fishing bait while the guys around him laughed. I used a burner Gmail account I created that morning. No name. No trace. I clicked send. Nothing dramatic happened. No explosion. No flashing alert. Just the little swoosh sound. But I knew that sound lit the match. By 5 p.m., Neil's LinkedIn had gone dark. No new post, no statement, just one quiet change. Open to new opportunities. Like nobody would notice. That night, I got a call from Melissa. "Check this out," she said. She forwarded a screenshot. Neil's company email had been disabled. Not out of office. Disabled. "They're taking it seriously," she said. "They have to. Environmental violations plus company money spent on side trips. That's not a slap on the wrist situation." "Good," I said. "Let them handle him. I've got other things to finish." Saturday morning, Travis finally noticed the money was gone. The main savings account had been cleared. Not illegally, just legally faster than he expected. He hadn't read the prenup, didn't realize that account was in my name alone once my business passed a certain threshold, which it had 2 months ago. He called once, then again, then 15 more times. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail halfway through the spree, voice shaking. "Becca, I don't know what's going on, but can you call me, please?" I watched the voicemail transcript scroll across the screen, deleted it without pressing play. Sunday morning, I met my lawyer in her office, handed over every document we prepped. "I want the house transferred today, and I want a freeze on every joint asset, every single one." "Already filed the request," she said. "Title transfer will hit county records by Tuesday. You'll get confirmation by mail." I initialed and signed every page, fast and clean. "You're calm," she said. "I'm done." That's the thing. People always think you're being dramatic when you say that. But when you actually are, there's no yelling, no door slams, just signatures and strategy. I didn't key his car. I didn't burn his clothes. I didn't scream at the sky asking why. I just cut him out, piece by piece, like dead weight from a moving engine. The knock came Sunday night, just after 10. 2 slow taps, then silence. I didn't even flinch. I stood in the hallway watching the shadow through the glass, shoulders slumped, hands in his pockets. I opened the door halfway. Travis looked like hell. Unshaven, hoodie wrinkled, eyes red. He opened his mouth, then shut it like he forgot how to speak. I needed to explain. I didn't move. He took a breath, like he was about to dive underwater. "It didn't mean anything. I mean, it did, but not like that. It wasn't serious. Neil was the one pushing it. He made it sound normal, like it was okay." "That your story?" I asked. He blinked. "What? That you tripped and fell into your wife's cousin for 6 months because he told you it was fine?" His eyes darted down. "The kids miss you. Abby asked where you were." I folded my arms. "This house isn't in your name anymore. The paperwork's already filed." "Wait, what?" He took a step forward. I didn't move. "And the kids?" I added. "They're not blind. They know who showed up and who didn't." He started to tear up. His mouth trembled like he was gearing up for a real performance. "I know I screwed up, but come on, Becca. You've always been strong. You can't just cut me out." "That's exactly what I'm doing." His face changed in an instant. Like a switch flipped, the tears dried up. Anger rushed in. "So, that's it? You're going to destroy our family over one mistake?" "One mistake?" I laughed once, sharp. "You emptied hotel minibars while I was putting our daughter through math tutoring. You took weekend trips with Neil while I worked double shifts. That's not a mistake. That's a campaign." "I gave you everything," he snapped. "I worked for this family too. Then maybe you should have stayed in it." He stood there breathing hard, fists clenched, eyes darting around like he was looking for a crack to slip through. I stepped back once, not afraid, just done. And I shut the door in his face. No slamming, no screaming, just the quiet click of a lock sliding into place. The next morning, I was at my lawyer's office before 9. We filed for divorce. I handed her everything. Texts, voicemails, photos, screenshots, messages where he admitted the affair, evidence of emotional neglect, financial manipulation, and desertion. Video clips where he joked about me being too busy, pretending to be a boss. I also filed for full custody, with grounds. She flipped through the stack and nodded slowly. "He doesn't have a leg to stand on. He doesn't even have a chair." I signed the last page, straightened the folder, and walked out of that office like I was late for something important. Because I was. By noon Monday, I got a call from Jenna at the bank. "You'll love this," she said. "He stormed in here this morning demanding to speak with someone in charge. Thought there'd been a bank error. And I showed him the closure forms. Legal, binding, signed. His name wasn't on anything. I could hear her smirking through the phone. He threatened anyone? I asked. Just pouted. Then his card declined at the ATM. Guy turned red and left. Click. Half an hour later, Melissa texted, "Guess who just called my supervisor trying to clarify the situation?" She added a gif of popcorn. Neil. Turns out, once the compliance email landed and the formal report hit the state system, things moved fast. Melissa's office already tagged his name on 3 violations. His firm had no choice but to launch their own investigation, and they weren't going to tank their name for him. I checked his company website. He was gone from the staff page. The cherry on top came around 3 p.m. A ding from my phone, a new message from Travis, this time a video. He was hunched over in what looked like a Motel 6, eyes swollen, hoodie pulled halfway over his head, voice cracking like it hurt to speak. "Becca, I messed up everything. I know that. I was stupid. I let things happen that I shouldn't have. Neil's gone. Karen won't even answer my calls. The bank won't help me. I don't even have gas money. Please, can we talk?" I didn't press play a second time. I downloaded it, forwarded it to my lawyer, and deleted the message. Let him cry into his consequences. He'd dug this hole one dumb lie at a time. Let him live in it. Later that night, I got another message. This one from the towing company. The rental SUV he drove from the lake house? Gone. Neil had reserved it under his work account. And when the firm froze his access, the rental company pulled it right out of the motel parking lot. Travis didn't even get to keep the keys. Meanwhile, Neil was officially under investigation by both his company and the state. Melissa kept me updated without saying too much, but I knew what that silence meant. He was finished. Travis tried calling again at midnight. I turned my phone off. They'd both picked their path. Now they got to walk it barefoot. Divorce court moved fast, faster than Travis ever expected. Probably thought he'd have time to spin a story, smooth things over, catch me in a soft moment. He didn't get one. We sat on opposite sides of the courtroom, him in a wrinkled blazer and borrowed shoes. He tried charm first, smiled at the judge like they were old golf buddies. Didn't work. Then he tried tears. Wiped his eyes during the testimony, shook his head like he couldn't believe what was happening to him. Still didn't work. My lawyer handed over the files, neatly labeled tabs, abandonment, adultery, financial deceit, documented manipulation, screenshots of texts, video clips, receipts with dates that lined up a little too perfectly. The judge barely blinked. "I see no valid defense from the respondent," she said. "Full custody awarded to the petitioner. Assets remain under original ownership per prenuptial terms. Final judgment granted." Just like that. I walked out with full custody, the house, and my LLC untouched. Every piece of my life I built without him dragging behind it. Travis sat there like someone pulled the floor out from under him. The court clerk had to tap his shoulder to make him stand up. I didn't wait around to watch him walk out. That same afternoon, I got a message from Melissa, short and sweet. Neil officially lost his contracting license. Fines filed. He was under state review pending formal charges. But the real gut punch? His wife. Yep, he had one. Had the audacity to call me family while hiding a second home 2 towns over. She found out everything. Filed for separation, took the kids, blocked his number, sent a copy of the court filing to his office, just to twist the knife. I didn't need to get revenge. The truth did the job for me. And then came the cherry on top. My mom, who smiled on the dock while I stood alone on a stage, finally reached out. One message. "Wish you'd handled this privately." That was it. No, how are you? No apology, no check-in on the grandkids. I didn't respond. Just left her on red and closed the thread. Family isn't blood. It's who shows up, and she didn't. That night, Abby and Ben came home. My lawyer had arranged the transfer, supervised and official. Travis didn't say a word during pickup. Ben was quiet, just went straight to his room. Abby lingered in the hallway, holding her backpack like it was a shield. I knelt down. "You okay?" Her eyes started to well up. She didn't cry, though. She just nodded, stepped forward, and hugged me hard. "I'm sorry we didn't come," she whispered. "It won't happen again." I hugged her tighter. "No, it won't," I said, and I meant it. A month passed. The house was calmer. No more calls. No banging on the door. Just homework at the kitchen table, dinner with the kids, and silence that didn't ache anymore. Then the letter came. No return address. Just my name on the front, written in thick, familiar handwriting that made my stomach twist before I even opened it. I knew who it was from. Inside, one page, folded in half. Sloppy ink, probably rushed. A few smudges where he must have pressed too hard. I never thought you'd go this far, he started. No, dear Rebecca, no greeting, just straight into the blame. You used to be soft. You used to ask before acting. This version of you? Cold. Calculated. I don't even recognize you anymore. I sat at the dining table and read the whole thing without blinking. I know I messed up. I know I lied. But you turned into someone else. You didn't just leave. You wiped me out. You planned it like a war. He made it sound like I hadn't spent years being patient, like I hadn't asked for the bare minimum and gotten scraps in return. You ruined everything, he wrote. You didn't just end it. You burned it down. And then, at the bottom, the last line, underlined twice. I guess you were never weak. Just waiting. I folded the letter and slid it into the junk drawer next to some batteries and expired coupons. No tears, no fury. Just that same steady silence I'd built up and wrapped around me like armor. No post, no speech, no dragging him online like I could have. Let him keep thinking I changed overnight. Let him believe he never saw it coming. It's easier that way, for men like him, easier to pretend women snap instead of wake up. I wasn't interested in revenge. I wasn't chasing applause. Just quiet wins, one after another. While he wrote letters to the past, I was already building what came next. 6 months later, I was checking emails during lunch when I saw the company newsletter come through. Same corporate layout, same cheesy banner. I almost deleted it without opening, but the subject line caught me, highlighting leadership, then and now. I clicked. First photo. Me on stage that night, mid-step, walking toward the mic. Plaque in one hand, smile tight. Behind me, a whole row of empty chairs. They didn't crop it. Second photo, me the next day, at a folding table wearing jeans and a staff badge at the City College Career Fair, helping single moms fill out FAFSA forms, handing out pamphlets, listening to stories that looked a lot like mine. The caption read, Regional Director spends day after promotion volunteering with returning students. No mention of who wasn't there. Just who was. By the next morning, local news had picked it up. Then a women's career blog, then a podcast. The story grew legs without me pushing it. Woman promoted after years of struggle, family skips event for fishing trip, quietly rebuilds and pays it forward. They got the facts right. No drama, no embellishment, just the truth. Travis tried to comment on one of the stories, something long and pathetic about personal matters and not everything is public knowledge. Didn't matter. Screenshots hit the replies in seconds. His messages, his texts, the vacation photos. He disappeared after that. Ghosted from every platform. Neil? Never worked in the industry again? Couldn't even get licensed in another state. His name was flagged on 2 ethics watch lists and 1 EPA bulletin. No one answered when he knocked on doors. As for Abby and Ben, they never asked to see their dad. Not once. They started using my maiden name at school. Signed it on drawings, essays, permission slips. I never told them to. They just did. I didn't destroy them. I didn't poison them against him. He did that on his own. All I did was stop protecting people who never protected me. They thought I'd cave, that I'd stay small, stay soft, stay stuck. They were wrong. Let them fish in their own mess. I'm not going near the water. I've got my hands full building something they can't reach anymore. Peace, power, and control over my own damn story.